Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And I'm really excited to bring this to you today because exclusively from Takara Tommy, this is Beasts Awaken Ultimate Optimus Primal. What this is an entirely original Takara Tommy mold based on Optimus Primal from the Rise of the Beast, or as it's called in Japan, Beasts Awakens movie. Now, this figure is being sold by Hasbro Pulse, Big Bad Toy Store, and I think a few other online only retailers. But the best place for you to get it, and also the cheapest place, was the where I got it, Amazon Japan. Because originally this was going to cost a little bit over $100, but because of a price reduction and I think some conversion rates, it actually only cost me around $84. And keep in mind that this is the special edition one that includes the clear red uh, Beast Battle Master cheetor. It's a it's a flaming cheetor. But yeah, mine came with that. And just as an aside, if you're getting that version from Amazon Japan, just keep an eye out. They do is they shrink wrap shrink wrap the package that Cheetor comes in, the part of the box of Optimus Primal. I just thought it was some extra packaging. I almost threw it out. But this is a really great figure, borrows heavily from the mainline Voyager Optimus Primal, as well as the original Beast Wars Optimus Primal, while giving us a few new things. But real quick, let's just take a look at this Cheetor. You have the main section there is just solid red plastic, but the limbs, the head, all clear. No paint on the eyes, that's a little surprising. But real quick, transform it, flip that peg up, flip the head around, um, bring the front legs back and around like this. Nothing really pegs into place. Straighten the paws out. I'm not really worried about the clear plastic breaking, but there you go. You have it as a sword. Here's the regular retail release. You do see there is they kept the asymmetrical design. No spots or anything like that. But now you have two stabby swords. And keep in mind, this is going to get released again with the weaponizer RC. Now we're starting off with Primal in its gorilla mode, and then much like the movie, that mainline Voyager, let me remove the sword here, just pegs into the side. They were able to recreate that lovely curvature, um, which is proper to the style of gorilla or breed of gorilla that Optimus Primal is based on. Um, by the way, the scimitar, very nice, well painted. It borrows heavily from that original Beast Wars design while giving it a little bit of a modern flair, and it does peg in nicely here on the side of the back. And you can do the transformation with the swords attached. Just might be a little bit easier to remove it. Coming to the front, there's that gorilla head. You got the green eyes there. They're very sunken, covered by the eyebrows there. The head does rotate a little bit, and you do have a little up and down movement, but it is fixed in this forward position. One thing I did notice from the packaging is they do show Primal standing on its legs. And I really don't know how to do that because they don't show it in the instructions. I think it's just a little camera magic. But you basically, I mean, yeah, I mean, you try to keep the legs forward a little to keep them short. It just doesn't work. But I think for what we have here, it's very, very nice. So what we'll do now is we'll pause and I'll. Okay, so I've adjusted the camera. I'm probably gonna have to do a little bit more because this does become a rather big robot. In terms of scale, I want to say it's leader class, but seeing as how leader class nowadays is more about parts count and less about size, um, that may not work well. It's just a very tall robot. But yeah, to start the transformation, go ahead, make your life easy. Remove the swords. We'll just put those off to the side for a second. And then what you want to do is come to the back here, flip up that back panel, straighten the legs out at the knees and then at the hips, and then bring the toes down for robot mode. What's nice is they really don't peg into place, so you can say you do have a little bit of toe articulation. At the same time, you want to come here and unpeg the butt flap and then rotate the whole thing around. And then keep that, folded down. And there we have the robot legs already done. Told you, it's not that bad in terms of transformation. Bring the arms down, rotate them forward. Don't worry about the shoulder pads yet, because if you start to move the shoulder pads, you'll just knock them back around into place. While we're down here, let's go ahead and rotate this panel around so it can actually sit in the proper position. Coming to the front, unpeg the chest here, rotate it around so you get the robot mode chest, and then open up the back here. And this is probably the trickiest part of the transformation. Um, Pull up on that center column, very familiar step to the transformation. Now I want you to pay attention right here to where the robot mode head is. You can see right there that there's a platform that's on an angle. What you need to do is you actually need to fold that platform up and then bring up uh, Primal's head on the neck joint. When going back to gorilla mode, you have to make sure that platform is folded down. If it's not, the back section is not going to sit properly. So fold that up, bring the head up, bring the gorilla head down slightly just to give yourself plenty of space to rotate things around. Bring that gorilla head back, push it down just like so, and this section will close up just like that. There's the robot head. Close the chest. It will snap nicely into place. Bring up the shoulder pads, and there, in its glory, is Optimus Prime. Great looking robot. Um, Great overall look. Um, the swords can, of course. Oh, almost forgot. This back panel, little slot right there, tab onto the back plate. Make sure you kind of have it centered because that is going to affect uh, different. Uh, if it's a little off, things won't fit right, like the swords here. You just peg it into place, just like that. And yeah, this is great. I mean, this is basically that nice combination of the classic Beast Wars Optimus Primal and that movie aesthetic. So let me pause for a second, and then we can come back and I'll show you some of the gimmicks in Robot. Okay, so let's start off with what we can do with these swords. Obviously, the swords can be held in the robot mode hands, and what's really nice is the hands are articulated. It's basically that modern masterpiece style. You have the individual finger, hook and point, and then the other three fingers are jointed together, and the thumb is fixed into place. So just slide the sword in like so, close it up around, and it actually holds it quite nicely. Now, what's really cool is you can do the joined double-bladed sword. Just pop it in. Let's actually open up this hand, take that out. Let's pop this in, and you can actually finagle it that it's actually sitting somewhat in the middle. Just gotta make sure you get the right type of close the finger. I mean, it may not be the easiest way, but have the fingers closed, and there you go. Not the tightest fit, but it works. So you have that. and that's really nice. So let's just pull that out for a second. Um, and then let's come up into the head here. Great looking robot mode head. Um, what we can, and would you believe that they even threw in the open face mask, which was not shown in the movie, but is part of the classic image of Optimus Prime. So just flip the face up here at the chin, rotate it around, and there you have, oh, make sure you get it lined up properly. Okay, there we go. And there you have something closer to the original Beast Wars look. I think that for a lot of people, this is how they remember Optimus Prime. And yeah, this head is on a ball joint there. You actually have some universal joint here in the shoulder. You have a over 90-degree bend at the elbow, swivel, outward movement, butterfly joints. That's actually really cool. I don't remember the last time I saw something like that on a Transformer. Uh, we saw the waist articulation, ratchet hip, forward and back, ratchet knees, and then we got ankle pivot. There's a little bit of that toe articulation too, which is there for the transformation, but it works. Now for the going on with the fun stuff, press the button underneath the forearm there, and on each arm you have pop out spring loaded arm blaster, just like from the original cartoon. Not on the toy. The original toy, unfortunately, uh, there was like a spring-loaded missile launcher, but there's that. And right there, I mean, that between the swords, the interchangeable head, and the spring-out blasters, that would be great for the figure. But that's not all. Takara really went all out on this figure, in my opinion. So what we're going to do now is, let's just for ease, open up that back panel, bring it down all the way. Come in the front here, open up the front chest, open up the back. Just like so. What you want to do first is right here on either side of the head, there are these little panels you want to flip up. That's going to make openings on either side, and then come in underneath and rotate into position these shoulder cannons. Oops, sorry, I just nudged the camera a little. Close that back up, just like so. Close that up. Close the panel up. And this is actually important to make sure you have that panel centered. So not only do you have the cannons, unfortunately, you cannot store the missiles in the cannon. They do get in the way, but there you go. And now there's no spring; they're pressure launcher. So yeah, there is that. Uh, well, that was a little bit better. But the fact that they thought had included that thought again, I'm pretty sure that's not something featured in the movie, but the fact that it's included here is very nice. The final gimmick is you might have noticed that all over the figure you have 3mm ports, forearms, shoulders, uh, the lower legs here on the back. Well, this is compatible with the weaponizers, the battle masters, excuse me. So I got a few. Let's peg them on just like that. Here's our new cheetor that we got with the figure. And borrowing from the Optimus Primal, Now, this is fairly close, I think, to how they show you to do it in the instructions, but you can do whatever you want. Just pop these up on the shoulder. Um, I'm having a hard time here. There we go. There we go. Just like that. And you know what? You got one on the back. They all even show you with Optimus Primal's crossbow how I usually store it. It's right there on the back. So yeah, so this guy is armored up. And yes, you can't. I thank you, Delilah. You can't even still use the spring out blasters. And now they have like a reverse bayonet with them. This is really a fun figure. Uh, you put the swords in. You can just go crazy with this. I mean, this is what I look at when I think of a modern figure. You have the gimmicks, but you also have the articulation, so the fun is still there. Really nice, really cool. And let me strip the guy down for a second because before we go and call it a day here, let me just bring in a couple of the other Optimus Primes so we can see what I've been talking about in terms of the design and where they borrow from. So of course, I love resetting those guns. So here's this guy right here. Here is the weaponizer, which really borrows heavily in terms of that robot design from the original Beast Wars toy. And then, of course, here's the aforementioned Voyager. And as you can see, there's a lot of that shared detailing. I thought this was going to be just an upscaled version of the Voyager, but they do go in a different direction in a few ways. But you can see the different panels and stuff. This is a great figure. This is a really great figure. This is just that much better. And it's not just because of the size, it's because of what else it does and the other effort that was put into it. And of course, we're going to talk about Optimus Primals. You know, I have to bring in the big in here. I mean, yes, this is a completely different design of the figure in terms of, ooh, that's really barely fitting in the shot. But you can see that this is really what Hasbro would consider their ultimate version of Optimus Primal. And this is to cars. In terms of what I think kids would enjoy, I think they would get more out of this figure than this one because there's really, it's sound, not voice commands. So even though you talk to it, it's still going to do whatever it wants. This one, there's a little bit more control, and I think you have a little more interactivity with the other lines from um, that were released for the Beast Alliance and overall uh, Be, Rise of the Beast, Beast Awakens movie. And you know, even if unintentionally, I mean, hold on here, let me just bring these guys back in. We really do have a little bit of a Optimus Primal party here. You know, it's like there's that, you know, those guys, and hey, don't forget, you know, this is Optimus Primal too. So you really have a whole, you know, there's a lot of little gorillas that turn into robots here. So I think that's about it for the review. We'll pause and we will come back with my final thoughts. So definitely, I highly recommend this version of Optimus Primal. Like I said, Hasbro Pulse I think is sold out right now. Big Bad Toy Store I think still has pre-orders, but uh, in stock, ready to ship is Amazon Japan. And Originally, this figure was a little bit on the expensive side, but as Amazon Japan is known to do, they did do price reductions and it was covered under the Amazon price match guarantee. So I think also with the rate of conversion, this actually came out to a very reasonable price for what you get. And what you do get is a modern movie style Optimus Primal that has a lot of the tricks and gimmicks from the original Beast Wars toy. As it is, I really don't know how the Studio Series Optimus Primal is going to be that much better than this one. Yeah, it's not going to have the shoulder cannons. Yeah, it's not going to have spring out weapons. But I mean, yeah, I mean, yes, that's not those that stuff is not accurate to the film, but you can't deny it really makes for a fun figure. So come the fall, we'll have to see really, what people are going to be interested in. But one more time, I got this from Amazon Japan. It's in stock now. I don't think the version I got that included the Flaming Hot Cheetos cheetor is still in stock. Just the basic one, which is the core figure. So you can go ahead and grab that. That's about it for the review. If you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe. While I have always appreciate the views, the likes, comments, and subscriptions. Help to communicate to YouTube through their algorithms that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I do have a Patreon. It is www.patreon.com/ChuckDog1999. $1 a month, $12 a year. You guys know the spiel. But as I always say, your views are more than thanks enough. I understand sometimes you can't just, swing some things. But that's about it. Once again, I'm your old pal Chuck for Ultimate Optimus Prime. We will see you next time.